Hi, this is Becky from Click Fluency, and I wanted to create this short video just to show you some things about taking your brand to the next level with brand registry. So if you're not already aware of it, this video is for you, or maybe you know about it, but you don't know too much about it and how it can really help your brand out on Amazon. This video is for you as well, so stay tuned. Okay, so brand registry on Amazon. It'll give you greater control and influence over your brand's product listings on Amazon. So basically, it's really to protect you as a brand, your intellectual property and other things that really help to make sure that it's your product and your brand that is being sold on Amazon. So there's a lot of extra features that Amazon does, and this is really great. Now, who's eligible for it? So just to kind of dive in a little bit more about brand registry, it is if you have a live and active trademark and you are the rights owner, you are able to apply for brand registry. Now, maybe you do have brand registry because some of these things that I'm going to mention sound familiar, that you already have it, but you're not really familiar with what happened and who even registered you. That's okay. There's ways to get that figured out. Because sometimes third-party sellers register on your behalf, or sometimes they have the information that maybe you've shared with them and they have registered for you on your behalf as well. But there's definitely ways to continue to get control back of that if that's something that you want as well. So another thing too, to be eligible for brand registry, is you have to have an Amazon account. Now, this can just be a free account that is your customer account, but I definitely would recommend that you choose an email address that it's connected with, that is something that is in the email for someone that's not always changing. So you don't want to necessarily have someone on maybe in your company that is kind of a position that potentially could have a new person. You want to maybe connect it with your name or an email that's just not going to change in the future. That's just kind of a little extra tip for when you're doing the application. So, and, connected with that there is an application process, but, I'm going to share a little bit more about the myths and kind of bust some myths that people have thought about with brand registry in just a few minutes. So how can this impact your brand? So there's a lot of great ways that brand registry can help you on Amazon. So you're going to get additional features and benefits that are going to basically not be allowed for people that do not have brand registry. So this is really something why we recommend it if you have that live and active trademark already, or if you're kind of on the fence about getting one, we would recommend it because of all the robust features that you get on Amazon that are just exclusive to when you have brand registry. So, your competitors, they may not have brand registry. So some of these things I'm going to share about some of the features, there's going to be things that they won't be able to do that you can take advantage of that'll really help you. And also, like I kind of mentioned earlier when I was defining what brand registry is, you're going to have more brand control and also more analytics on Amazon that they will share with you. So that's going to be super helpful when you're, if you're concerned about, control of your brand and just your brand image on Amazon. And also if you want to start learning more about, the people that are shopping for your products on Amazon. Amazon does give that data. That's through what's called brand analytics. And it's amazing the data that they allow you as a brand owner to see that can help you as you're thinking about your positioning your product on Amazon. So that'll really help with growth. Kind of to explain and expound a little bit more on the features and benefits. So some examples of some features that you would get as opposed to that are not available for people that don't have brand registry. So you get something called now A+ content is what it's currently called. And that means under the product description, there's images that you can add with text. And the neat thing about A+ content, and I'll probably have a video where I talk more about that later, but that has been shown to increase conversion rates. So having that available is awesome. You also get the feature called where you can run sponsored brands on Amazon. And this is a type of advertising on the Amazon advertising platform that allows you to have what they used to call it a headline search ads. So think of it as a headline that's up at the front for a keyword or keyword phrase that you're trying to target on Amazon with advertising. You actually have a place where you can customize it for your brand to express, maybe a logo or a slogan that you have for your brand. And then you also have places where you can have up to 3 of your products being showcased all in one place. And that shows up at the very top of the results before even the pay-per-click advertising. So that's a huge advantage. And with that, you typically will see a lower advertising cost of sales. So lower ACoS, just because, going back to the whole, what I've been saying is brand registry isn't available to everyone, and not everyone is even applied for it, even if they are eligible. So like I said, between all those things, and those are just a few, so I'm just kind of scratching the surface just as a shorter video, but it's really amazing. So ways that it can help you grow your sales on Amazon. So, these are more of the benefits, again, kind of expounded. So you also have more control over your product pages. So a lot of people, when they have their listings up, sometimes they're not sure who's making changes and other things like this. Now, it doesn't completely stop people from being able to make changes. That would be something that I could talk about in another video, but it does give you more control of your product pages. And also, like I said earlier, with the whole, intellectual property and everything, if you see someone infringing on that, they have a really easy report tool. Another thing you get is brand storefront. Now, I haven't really mentioned that, but this is where you get your own unique page and website URL on Amazon. So it's usually amazon.com/ and then your brand name typically. And this will be kind of a landing page where you can send people that maybe external traffic that you want to send on Amazon, but you don't want to just send them to one listing. You want them to see more of your products all at once and to kind of become more familiar with your brand. That's where you can actually have images and you can have video now. They're always updating this brand storefront. So even as I'm creating this video, some of the things I'm going to mention, they're probably already going to have additional features, but one of the more recent features that they have now is rolling video. And the thing is there's always so many moving pieces on Amazon, and there's just so much opportunity and ways to grow on Amazon. But a lot of times it's really hard to keep up with the fast pace that Amazon is always pulling out new features. So, definitely keep an eye out for things like, their brand storefront features. Another thing you get is you actually get brand registry support. So instead of just seller support, you get an additional level of support, which is always great, especially with, anything related specifically maybe to your brand and then control of your brand. So this is just great to have that extra layer of support from Amazon with just this unique to brand registered brands. Another thing you get, I already mentioned, was A+ content on listings. So that's where the product description shows. It usually says product description. Sometimes it says from the manufacturer if you're on Vendor Central. But that's just really a great place to add additional images that you couldn't fit in those 7 to 9 images on your listing, and just other content that you wanted to expand on more. That's a great place to add it. And you also, I already mentioned sponsored brands for advertising, so I'm not going to kind of go into that more, but it's a type of advertising basically that's not available to everyone. So everyone can do pay-per-click advertising on Amazon, but sponsored brands can only be run if you have brand registry. And another thing is video content. So I already mentioned the new features like in the brand storefront where there's rolling videos and other things that you can do now, but also you have the ability to add video into your listing image block, which is huge because, as I'm sure you know, video is really great for converting to sales, because a lot of times, when you're shopping online, you don't really get to understand the product as much as you would in a physical store. So this is just another way of being able to, for people, potential customers, to understand and experience your product. So you can also even see the data related to that video, which is amazing. So all these things are just specific benefits that brand registry offers. Now, that's not even everything because there's so many things, but those are like the real big highlights of things available. Okay, so I told you earlier that I wanted to bust some myths about brand registry. I'm all about busting myths on Amazon because unfortunately there's a lot of information that's either just wrong or it's outdated because Amazon is always changing things up. So, you always want to make sure to have accurate information. And to be quite honest, even things that I'm saying now, they could change in the future. So once this video gets a lot older, you want to double check and confirm, is this still the case? Because really, like I said, Amazon is always changing things and updating, things. And so you don't want to go from old information or from wrong information. But that's just kind of a thing about myths on Amazon in general. So, but one of the first myths that we hear is it costs money to apply. So someone would have to, as a brand, would have to pay an amount of money to even, apply for brand registry. The great news is, as of right now, and when this video has been released, it is free to apply for brand registry. Now, there has been kind of talk of perhaps in the future they may end up charging for brand registry to enroll, which is another reason I think that it's really important, if you have everything in place, like a live and active trademark, that you go ahead and apply for brand registry or have someone help you apply for that, because you don't want to miss out, and in the future if they end up starting to charge for that feature. The second myth that we hear is, oh, well, when I get brand registry, all of my listings will automatically be connected to my brand registered name and I don't even have to do anything. That's actually a myth. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you may know, sometimes listings can be created by someone that you don't even know who created it, and they could even have an incorrect brand name or a slight variation of your brand name that is not the exact match. So in that, under your title, then in blue, that's what the brand name is showing as. It has to match exactly. And then you also have to link that to your brand registered brand. So you want to make sure that everything is linked, and it's not going to happen automatically, unfortunately. So, and sometimes you may even have to have listings that do not have your correct brand name. You may have to change those. Those are a little bit more of a headache, but it's definitely possible and doable. But that is a myth that we've heard, that everything is just going to make it easy all of a sudden. It doesn't take away the problems. It definitely helps with future issues, especially related to brand control, but it doesn't automatically solve that. So those are some myths that you may have heard about brand registry. Okay, so I'm going to kind of walk you through a quick guide on getting brand registered on Amazon. So you're going to go to the website brandservices.amazon.com. And on that page, you're going to see a yellow Get Started button. And you're going to click on that to apply. Now, before you click to apply, there's a few things that you'll want to have in place. You're going to have to verify yourself as the rights owner for the trademark. And so you'll want to have all of your information that you'll need for that application ready. It's an online application, obviously. And then also you're going to have to sign in using an existing vendor or seller central account. Now, this is really important because you want to make sure, if you already do have an account on Amazon and it's a selling account of some sort, vendor or seller, you want to make sure to sign in using that information. And that way it can connect with that account. And if you don't have one, you will need to open up a free Amazon account. So this isn't even necessarily a selling account, but this will just be, you have to have an email connected with your name. And I mentioned earlier, but we do recommend that you kind of have an email that's pretty much well held by or owned by the brand owner yourself, instead of necessarily just support staff emails, because this is going to be the main login and the main email that's going to be connected with brand registry. So if in the future, for instance, you end up opening your own seller account on Amazon, you're going to want to use that main email, and that's going to be your main login. So you can always add additional users into Amazon. That's not an issue, but you want to make sure that that main email is a really one that you would intend and like to have. So yeah, I wanted to now share with you, just kind of, I walked you through very quickly a lot about a real big overview on brand registry on Amazon, but I did want to share with you, we are always having monthly webinars. So there's going to be a link below in this video where you can sign up to be notified about it. And also, here's the website as well. It's going to be grow on amazon.clickfluency.com/monthly webinar. And there you can attend our monthly webinars. And I'm actually going to do another webinar that's kind of going to go more into depth about brand registry. So if you're interested in that, I'm actually going to show you actual screenshots of what the brand registry application looks like. So if that's something that's of interest to you, make sure to click that link and check that out so that you can get notified about the webinar that we do every month. So I hope that this was helpful, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and have a great day.